Welcome back, everyone. We're going deep today. Um, a really unique approach to learning English. It's all about, well, really achieving fluency.
Yeah, and this might surprise you, but it uses a sitcom, a popular one, as its main tool.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but it's not just watching for fun, right?
No, no, no. It's way more than that. This actually gets you involved in the language, actively
Oh,
involved.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So spill the beans. What sitcom are we talking about here? How does this whole thing actually work?
Well, hold on. Not going to reveal the specific sitcom just yet.
Okay,
The beauty of this is you can tailor it, to your own tastes.
I see.
The key is choosing a sitcom that you enjoy,
Right.
something that'll keep you coming back for more.
So it's like picking a good book. You want something that grabs your attention and keeps you turning the pages.
Exactly, exactly.
But how does a sitcom help with speaking English?
It's all about the subtitles.
Oh, okay.
You download those subtitles. Yeah. For your sitcom, the one you choose.
Right.
Turn them into printable study material.
Printable.
And here's a pro tip. Look for versions with timestamps on each line.
Timestamps. Okay, that's smart.
Yeah.
I can see how that would be helpful. Yeah.
Here.
So I've got my subtitles printed out. Now what? Just start reading out loud.
Not quite. Not quite. The
Yeah.
three-step watching process first.
Okay.
Watch with the subtitles in your native language,
Sure.
just to make sure you understand, what's going on.
Understand the plot, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Then rewatch it, but this time, English subtitles.
So I'm kind of easing into it.
Yeah, start connecting those spoken words with the written form.
Okay. And then the third viewing, no subtitles.
You got it.
Okay.
Third viewing is all about immersion, relying on those listening skills, pushing yourself to really understand the meaning.
Right, from context and pronunciation.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. This is good. But where does the acting come in? That's what I'm really curious about.
This is where it gets interesting.
Okay.
Once you've watched a few times, you take those English subtitles, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you start working through them, line by line.
Okay.
But you're not just reading, you're acting out the dialogue.
Hold on. I'm acting like I'm in the sitcom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Visualize yourself in the scene, channel the emotions,
Yeah.
even mimic the tone of voice.
Wow. This is totally different.
It is, it is.
I mean, I'm not memorizing words. I'm trying to embody them.
Right. And that's what makes it so powerful.
Yeah.
You're not passively absorbing. You're actively engaging, using your whole body to learn. And that impacts your fluency big time.
Sounds a lot more fun than drilling vocab flashcards.
Oh,
That's for sure.
Yeah.
Much more engaging.
But what about new words? I mean, I'm gonna hit a ton of vocabulary that I don't know.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. That's part of it.
So what do I do? When you come across a word you don't know, look it up.
Yeah.
Dictionary. But don't get bogged down with trying to memorize every single definition.
So it's not about cramming.
No. Instead, focus on how the word's used
Yeah.
in the context of that scene.
Okay.
You can even, translate it, if that helps you.
That's a relief. I thought this was going to be like a vocabulary marathon.
No.
So it's more about understanding how it's actually used in natural conversation.
You got it. You're building a practical understanding, not just a dictionary definition.
Okay.
And here's the thing. You'll see these words repeatedly as you work through different episodes.
Oh, interesting.
Reinforces your learning naturally.
So it's like learning by osmosis almost.
Yeah, you could say that.
But how much time should I be spending on this each day?
The method suggests working on smaller chunks,
Okay.
about 3 to 5 minutes at a time.
3 to 5 minutes.
And remember, the goal isn't memorization.
Right.
It's to practice until you can deliver those lines naturally and confidently.
Like the actors.
Exactly. So natural flowing delivery.
Not a robotic recitation.
Precisely. You're training yourself to think and speak
Right.
in English.
Right. Okay. I'm sold on the 3 to 5 minute chunks, really becoming best friends with the dialogue. But what happens when I finish a whole episode?
Here's where it gets even more interesting.
Okay.
After completing a new episode, you revisit an older one.
Oh, interesting.
Think of it like a gym routine.
Oh, I like that.
For language, you're constantly working those muscles, prevents them from getting rusty.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I can see how that would solidify like the vocabulary, grammar.
Absolutely.
But let's be realistic. How much time, I mean, realistically, how much time should I be putting aside each day?
Well, we mentioned a specific range earlier.
Yeah.
That might seem a bit daunting. But here's the thing. Even if you can't hit that target every day, consistency is key.
So a little bit every day. It's more important than like cramming it all in.
Exactly, exactly. And there are lots of ways to make it work.
Yeah.
You know, you could break your practice into smaller chunks throughout the day.
Okay.
Listen to a few minutes of dialogue during your commute.
Right.
Practice a scene while you're, cooking dinner. Even run lines in the shower.
No, that's immersive learning.
The point is you can tailor this method to fit your life. The key is making it a regular habit.
Yeah.
And trust me, you'll be amazed at how much progress you can make, even with those shorter blists of focused practice.
This is starting to sound less like studying and more like fun, actually.
It is. It's engaging. It's enjoyable.
I'm starting to see the appeal. I'm guessing. I mean, there's some common questions people have about this method.
Absolutely.
Boy.
2 questions we hear all the time. First, how many times should they repeat each line?
Right.
And second, how long should those daily practice sessions be?
Okay, let's tackle those. So how many times should I repeat each line? Is there like a magic number?
Not exactly. Repeat each line until you can deliver it correctly and confidently.
So it's about quality over quantity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You want mastery, not just, mindless repetition.
Right. Right.
And this is where those timestamps come in handy. Again,
Yeah.
easy to rewind, replay until you've nailed it.
This is making me want to go pick out a sitcom right now.
Yes.
But before I do the second question, how long should my practice sessions be?
Remember that ideal range? 2 hours and 40 minutes to 3 hours a day.
Yeah.
It might seem like a lot, but remember, you're actively engaging.
Yeah. Yeah.
Immersing yourself. It's not like passively watching.
Right. Right.
You're putting in the work.
It's an investment.
It is.
I get that.
You're investing in yourself.
It's like anything else worth achieving.
Yeah, exactly. Takes dedication, effort.
I'm starting to see how rewarding it could be.
It is. And remember, you can break those sessions into smaller chunks
Yeah.
throughout the day. The key is to make it a regular part of your routine, a habit.
A habit. Right.
Think about it. You're investing in yourself.
That's a powerful thought. I'm already feeling inspired.
Yeah.
But before we move on, I want to dive a little deeper into one aspect that you mentioned earlier.
Kind of curious.
You talked about how this method's about more than just memorization.
Yes.
It's about developing a feel
Yeah.
for the language, a sense of rhythm and flow.
Exactly.
That really resonated with me. Can you elaborate on that a bit more?
Absolutely. Traditional methods, they often emphasize rote memorization,
Right.
vocabulary lists,
Hmm.
grammar rules, and try to apply them in a very structured way.
Yeah.
But this method, it's different.
It's about experiencing it.
In a more organic way.
Exactly.
Mm.
Exactly. It's like learning to dance. You don't memorize every single step.
Right.
You feel the music. You let your body move
Yeah.
naturally to the rhythm.
I love that analogy.
Yeah.
So with this method, I'm not just memorizing words. I'm learning how to move with them, how to let them flow.
Precisely. It's about moving beyond the intellectual
Okay.
and into a more intuitive, experiential realm.
Right.
And that's where the acting element comes in. When you step into the shoes of the character, you're not just reciting words, you're inhabiting them.
I can see how that would create a much deeper connection.
It does.
Almost like you're internalizing it on a cellular level.
It's about moving beyond the mechanical aspects.
Yeah.
And into genuine expression.
Okay.
And that's where true fluency lies. The
Yeah.
ability to express yourself authentically
Yeah.
and effortlessly.
It's about becoming one with the language.
Feeling it flow through you as
Yeah.
naturally as your native tongue.
That's beautifully put. And that's the true beauty of this method.
This is incredible. I'm so excited to continue exploring this with you.
Me too.
Are you ready to move on to the next part of our deep dive?
Absolutely. I can't wait to share some practical tips, strategies for putting this into action.
Let's do it. I'm ready to roll up my sleeves and get into the nitty-gritty.
Right, let's go.
All right, so we've covered the why,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm ready to learn the how. Let's get into the practical stuff.
Okay, great. So remember those subtitles, the ones with the timestamps?
Yeah.
Think of them like a treasure map
Okay.
leading you to fluency gold.
I like that. So more than just words on a page.
Yeah, yeah. They're your blueprint.
Blueprint. All right.
Yeah.
I've got them. I've got them printed out, ready to go. What should I be doing with them besides highlighting everything?
Well, start by identifying, those tricky words or phrases.
Okay. Yeah.
Circle them. Highlight, underline. Whatever works for you.
Got it. Make them stand out.
Exactly. The goal is to make them stand out so you can, give them extra attention.
Right. Right. Okay. So circling the trouble spots. What else?
Pay attention to how lines are delivered.
Okay.
Do the actors speak quickly, slowly, with emphasis?
Right.
Mark those nuances
Right.
right on your script.
So I'm not just learning what they're saying, but how they're saying it.
Exactly. This is where those acting skills come into play.
Yeah. This is getting good.
Yeah. Now, here's a tip. Might surprise you. Don't be afraid to use your native language
Okay.
as a bridge,
Oh, yeah.
especially in the beginning.
Okay.
If you come across a phrase that just stumps you,
Yeah.
it's okay to translate it,
Oh, good.
just to get a grasp of the meaning.
That's a relief. I was wondering about that. What about those idiomatic expressions?
Mm.
I mean, I'd be lost.
Exactly. And as you progress, you'll find that you need to translate less and less.
Right.
You'll start to develop an intuition
Yeah. Yeah.
for the language, recognizing patterns, picking up meaning from context.
It's like a muscle.
It is.
The more I use it, the stronger it gets.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk more about the acting part.
Okay.
I know it can feel, a bit silly at first.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's incredibly effective. Imagine you're actually auditioning for a role in your sitcom.
So it's method acting for language learning.
You could say that. And don't be afraid to exaggerate.
Okay.
Overemphasize your pronunciation. Use big gestures.
I like it.
Really throw yourself into it.
So it's like turning my living room into my own personal stage.
That's the spirit. Here's why it works. The more you exaggerate, the more you engage your muscles and your memory.
Okay.
You're creating a multi-sensory learning experience.
Right.
That really helps the language stick.
It's like giving my brain and body a language workout.
Exactly. But what about those times when you stumble
Yeah.
over a word or a phrase?
It happens.
It does. First of all, don't get discouraged.
Right.
Everyone stumbles, especially in the beginning.
All right, so mistakes are welcome.
Mistakes are welcome. They're part of the process. But when you hit a roadblock,
Yeah.
try breaking it down.
Mm.
Focus on each individual syllable. Practice those syllables slowly and clearly until you feel comfortable.
So it's like dissecting the word,
Yeah.
understanding its parts.
You got it. And once you've got those individual syllables down, try blending them together.
Yeah.
Smoothly. And don't be afraid to experiment. Play around with different intonations, stresses.
It's like I'm a sculptor.
Yeah.
Molding and shaping the sounds.
I like that. And the great thing is the more you practice this, the more intuitive it becomes.
Oh, okay.
You're training your ear and your tongue to work together.
This is great.
Yeah.
It's like having a pronunciation coach in my pocket.
Exactly. Okay, so we've talked about breaking down words. We've talked about the acting element. Anything else? Well, we can't stress this enough. Consistency is key. It's like any skill.
Yeah.
You need to put in the time consistently to see real progress.
Consistency. We've touched on this, but I know it's important. So how can I make it happen? In a sustainable way. It's easy to say be consistent, but how do I actually do that?
Yeah.
With a busy schedule.
That's the key, isn't it? Finding ways to weave practice into your daily life.
Okay.
Look for those pockets of time.
Okay.
During your commute, while you're doing chores, even while you're waiting in line at the grocery store.
Right.
Those little moments add up.
Yeah. It's about making it a habit.
Exactly.
Almost like brushing your teeth.
You got it. And remember, even 10, 15 minutes of focused practice is better than none at all. Don't let the pressure of a 3-hour target keep you from getting started.
That's a really good point. So it's about finding what works for me.
Yeah.
And sticking with it.
Exactly.
It's a cycle, right? The more I practice, the better I get, the more motivated I feel to keep going.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And speaking of motivation, what about those times when you feel stuck
Yeah.
or discouraged? Any advice for dealing with those plateaus?
That's a that's a great question. It's so easy to get frustrated,
Mhm.
when I feel like I'm not making progress. What do you suggest?
Well, first, remember everyone learns at their own pace.
Okay.
Don't compare yourself to others. And when you hit a plateau, it can help to switch things up.
Switch things up.
And
Okay. What do you mean?
try try a different sitcom, experiment with different practice techniques, maybe even find a language partner, to practice with.
Yep.
The key is to keep things fresh and fun.
So it's about re-energizing.
Exactly. And don't forget to celebrate your progress along the way. Even small victories are worth acknowledging.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah.
It's so easy to get caught up in what I haven't mastered yet that I
Huh?
forget to appreciate how far I've come.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Take the time to acknowledge your achievements, no matter how small. Okay. Before we move on to the final part of our deep dive, I want to circle back to something we touched on earlier.
Try again?
The importance of choosing a sitcom you enjoy.
Right, right. That seems so crucial. If I'm going to be spending hours, working with this material, I better at least like it, right?
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. The more you enjoy it, the more motivated you'll be to practice. It's all about finding that sweet spot where learning and entertainment intersect.
Yeah, yeah. When it stops feeling like work.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, are you ready for the final part of our deep dive? I have some closing thoughts that I think you'll find really inspiring.
Let's do it. I'm ready to hear those final nuggets of wisdom. All right, we've covered a lot of ground today. Before we wrap up this deep dive into this fascinating method, let's recap for our listeners the key takeaways.
Hmm.
You know, for those who are eager to put this into practice.
Yeah, sounds good. Sounds good. Where should we start?
Well, I think the most important thing is that this is about active engagement. It's not, passively watching. It's about immersion, becoming a part of the
Yeah,
dialogue.
it's about taking those subtitles, turning them into your script, and really, embodying those characters.
Yeah.
And don't forget the timestamps. They're
Yeah.
they're like your secret weapon
Yeah.
for pinpointing those moments you want to master.
It's like having a language learning remote control.
Yeah, yeah.
You can rewind, replay, practice,
Yeah.
until those phrases just roll off your tongue. But what about those moments when I come across phrases or words that I just don't understand?
Well, that's where embracing your native language as a bridge
Yeah.
comes in.
Right. Yeah.
Especially in the beginning.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to translate if it helps you get the meaning.
Yeah.
It's about making the process accessible, enjoyable.
Yeah. I love that. It takes the pressure off
It does, it
of
does.
having to understand everything perfectly right away.
And as you progress, you'll find yourself relying less on that, on translation,
Oh, yeah.
and more on your growing intuition for the language.
Yeah.
It's like any skill. The more you practice, the stronger, more intuitive it becomes.
Right. Right. And speaking of practice, we can't forget about the golden rule
Yeah.
of consistency.
Yeah, consistency is key. Even short, focused practice sessions can make a huge difference
Overt.
over time.
So it's better to practice for like 15 minutes every day
Yeah.
than for 2 hours once a week.
Absolutely. The key is to make it a habit. Something you do without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
Weave those sessions into your daily routine.
Right.
Listen during your commute. Practice while you're cooking dinner,
Yeah.
you know. Even run lines in the shower.
Uh-huh. Who knew language learning could be so versatile? You're making this sound less like a chore and more like a fun part of my life.
That's the goal. That's the goal. And remember, this isn't about perfection.
Right.
It's about progress.
Yeah.
Don't get hung up on the mistakes.
Okay.
Embrace them as opportunities to learn and grow.
So I should be celebrating the aha moments, those
Yeah.
times when
Uh,
a difficult word or phrase just clicks.
and most importantly, choose a sitcom that brings you joy, something that you genuinely look forward to watching.
Right.
The more you enjoy it, the more likely you are to stick with it.
This has been so eye-opening. I'm feeling really inspired to give this a try. Any final words of wisdom for our listeners before we sign off?
Yeah, my advice is simple. Take that first step. Choose your sitcom, gather your materials, and dive in. You might be surprised at how quickly you unlock fluency.
And remember, it's not just about learning a language. It's about opening up a whole new world of possibilities, connections. Happy learning, everyone.
Until next time, keep diving deep.